There is a quiet whisper beneath the noise of your daily life. It's not the voice of anxiety or ambition, but something much older, much truer. It is the part of you that knows when a season of your life is about to change, long before the first leaf falls. You may have felt it recently, a sense that the life you are living is no longer the life that is meant for you. What if this disorientation is not an ending, but the tremor before a new beginning? What if the chaos is sacred, a necessary dismantling before something truer can emerge? The great psychologist Carl Jung taught that the soul speaks in symbols and signs. Before a great shift, it does not announce itself with a trumpet blast. It whispers. If you are here, it is because that whisper has finally become too loud to ignore. It means your inner world is paying attention, even if your conscious mind has not yet made sense of the signs. And that is the very threshold of transformation. Let us explore the 8 unmistakable signs that your life is not falling apart, but breaking open. 1. You begin to question everything. The first sign is not a crisis, but a quiet, sacred questioning. The beliefs, goals, and relationships that once formed the bedrock of your identity now feel questionable. This is not rebellion, it is a spiritual initiation. As the philosopher Socrates famously declared, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This questioning is the first sign that you are no longer content to live an unexamined life. The old structures of your mind are beginning to dissolve because they can no longer contain the person you are becoming. Imagine the career path you pursued with immense ambition for a decade suddenly feels hollow. The dream you achieved now feels like someone else's dream. This discomfort is not a problem to be solved. It is the sacred labor of rebirth. The universe is stripping away the illusions that no longer serve your evolution. You are not being punished. You are being purified. 2. Your old life starts to feel foreign. The second sign is a subtle yet unmistakable sense of detachment from the person you used to be. Hobbies that once brought you joy now feel empty. Routines that once grounded you feel like cages. You look at old photos of yourself and feel a gentle, compassionate distance, as if looking at a beloved character from a story that has already ended. This is the shedding of the old persona, the social mask that Jung said we wear for acceptance. The roles you once played, the good child, the successful employee, the fun friend, no longer fit. Imagine you attend a party with an old group of friends. The conversations, the jokes, the entire dynamic once so familiar, now feel foreign. You're not judging them. You simply no longer resonate with that frequency. There is a quiet grief in this, a mourning for the self that is dissolving. But this grief is the space-making pain of spiritual rebirth. You're not losing people, you are losing illusions. 3. You can no longer tolerate fake behavior. This sign is often abrupt and startling. Suddenly, you have zero tolerance for anything that feels false. Superficial conversations, disingenuous people, and meaningless obligations become physically draining. Your soul is waking up, and it can no longer digest poison. The emotional labor you once performed, pretending to be interested, forcing a smile, swallowing your truth to keep a false peace, now feels impossible. Your very nervous system begins to reject what is not in alignment with your authentic self. This is not you becoming arrogant or judgmental. It is your soul reclaiming its energy. Jung believed that so much of our life force is wasted maintaining a false self. When you stop, that energy returns to you, fueling your transformation. You begin to crave authenticity with the same intensity a drowning person craves air. Imagine a family member starts engaging in the usual dramatic gossip. In the past, you would have politely listened. Now, you feel a strong, physical urge to leave the room. You find yourself saying, "I'm not comfortable talking about this," a boundary you never would have set before. 4. You start craving time. Alone. The fourth sign is a powerful, undeniable craving to be alone. The noise of the world becomes too much. The constant input feels like static. This is not a sign of depression, but of deep, internal work. Think of a caterpillar. To become a butterfly, it must enter the dark, silent, solitary space of the chrysalis. It must completely dissolve before it can be reborn. Your soul is asking for its chrysalis. Let's say you used to feel anxious if you didn't have plans for the weekend. Now, the idea of a weekend with no social obligations, just a book and your own thoughts, feels like the ultimate luxury. You are not avoiding people. You are choosing to be with yourself. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal wrote that all our problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room alone. But you are now discovering that this quiet room is not a prison. It is a sanctuary. It is the sacred space where the noise of the world fades and you can finally hear the whisper of your own inner wisdom. This solitude is not empty. It is full. It is the fertile darkness where the seeds of your new life are beginning to sprout. 5. Your gut feeling becomes stronger. For years, your intuition may have been a quiet, easily ignored whisper. But now, it begins to speak with an undeniable clarity and authority. You just know things without knowing how you know them. You meet a new person and your gut gives you an immediate, powerful yes or no. You stand at a crossroads in your life and your body feels a physical pull in one direction. This is your subconscious, your deepest self, communicating directly. Jung saw intuition as one of the 4 core functions of the psyche, a legitimate way of perceiving reality. Imagine you were offered a perfect on-paper job opportunity, great salary, great title. Your logical mind screams, "Take it!" But a deep, quiet, and unshakable feeling in your chest says, "This is not your path." In the past, you would have ignored that feeling. Now, you know it is the truest compass you own. 6. You start noticing meaningful coincidences. As your inner world begins to align with your true path, the outer world starts to send you beautiful, mysterious confirmations. These are the meaningful coincidences that Jung called synchronicity. You ask a question in your mind, and the answer appears on a billboard. You think of a long-lost friend, and they call you the next day. You decide to pursue a new path, and you suddenly meet 3 different people who can help you. Imagine you decide you want to learn pottery. The next day, your colleague mentions their sister is a potter and is looking for new students. These are not random accidents. They are the universe winking at you, confirming that you are on the right path. These are not random accidents. They are the universe winking at you. They are the quantum field rearranging itself to match your new energetic frequency. They are echoes of a reality that is already waiting for you, sending signals back in time to let you know you are on the right path. These signs are a beautiful confirmation that you are not going crazy. You are, in fact, becoming more sane, more aligned, and more connected to the hidden order of the universe than ever before. 7. You feel both scared and excited at the same time. The journey of transformation is not one of pure, blissful peace. It is often accompanied by 2 powerful, seemingly contradictory emotions: fear and excitement. The fear comes from your ego, your old identity. It is terrified of dying. It is the part of you that loves the familiar, the safe, and the predictable. As you stand on the edge of your new life, the ego will scream, "Turn back. It's dangerous. You will lose everything." But the excitement comes from your soul. It is the thrill of authentic creation, of finally becoming the person you were born to be. It is the part of you that has been waiting your entire life for this moment of liberation. The Eastern philosopher Lao Tzu wrote in the Tao Te Ching, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." The space between what I am and what I might be is the space of fear and excitement. To be able to hold both of these feelings at the same time is a sure sign that you are on the threshold of a profound breakthrough. Think about this. You finally quit the safe job to start your own business. You feel a terrifying fear of failure, but underneath it you also feel a thrilling, exhilarating sense of aliveness you haven't felt in years. Holding both feelings is a sure sign that you are on the threshold of a profound breakthrough. 8. You start to forgive your past self. The final and most beautiful sign is the dawning of a deep, quiet, and unconditional compassion for yourself. You look back at the person you were, the one who made mistakes, who tolerated disrespect, who lived in fear, and you no longer feel shame or regret. Instead, you feel a profound sense of love and gratitude for them. You realize that every misstep, every wound, every moment of confusion was a necessary part of the journey that brought you to this awakening. You stop being your own harshest critic and become your own most loving ally. You begin to understand what Jung meant when he said the goal is not to be perfect, but to be whole. Wholeness includes all of it, the light and the shadow, the triumphs and the scars. And in this radical self-acceptance, you find a peace that is not dependent on any external outcome. Let's say you think back to a past relationship where you accepted poor treatment. The old you would have cringed with shame. The new you feels a gentle compassion, thinking, "I was doing the best I could with the awareness I had at the time. Thank you for getting me here." If these signs echo within you, know this. The best stage of your life is not a distant destination you must strive for. It is a process that is already unfolding, quietly and powerfully, from within. The disorientation you feel is not a sign that you are lost. It is the sacred, necessary unraveling of the self that was never truly you. Trust the crumbling. Trust the discomfort. Trust the quiet, insistent whisper of your own soul. You are not falling apart. You are breaking open. The most authentic, powerful, and joyful version of you is not something you need to build. It is something you must allow to be revealed. The journey has already begun.